Hello everyone, I'm Joey Bridges. I'm joined by my brother James Bridges. Today's a serious look at whether you're even in the game or not. I was just on a recent call with an agent, and I do love speaking with agents from all across the country. Now, here's the thing.
This is a cautionary tale.
This is a cautionary tale.
Yeah, this is a cautionary tale.
This is a cautionary tale of what you were looking at and what you believed compared to what you actually want. So I just want to make sure everyone's focused correctly on what's in the game. So this agent who'd been in the business for 20 plus years, I said, what are you spending on marketing? The answer, $75 a month. That's
a pretty big budget there.
Now, I didn't have a problem with 75. I don't actually have a problem with the size of the budget. Here's what I had, and here's where I took issue. I said, okay, $75 is fine.
Now, however, it could be better.
It could be better. Yeah, it could be better. That's a limp in.
Yeah.
And especially it's a limp in when you get to finding out what her 7% rules. Now, as we all know, 7% is the maximum you want to spend to make your marketing effective. So, in other words,
to get one closing.
To get one closing, one check in your pocket. So her 7% rule was $210. So I said, hey, all right.
Mathematically speaking.
Now here's where it got really out of control. I said, okay, so you're spending $75 a month. What's your goal per month? Well, one closing a month. I said, well, you're not even spending enough to maybe, if you've done everything right.
If you're doing the right marketing. If you're doing the right marketing.
If you're doing the right marketing. If you're doing the right volume. If you're doing everything, you're going to close maybe one every 3 months. You know, and just couldn't, I'm like, my point was, she wasn't even in the game. I said, well, hey, look, are you willing to spend 200, if I give you 210, you give me 210, I give you back $3 grand. Well, I don't know how many times. I said, you're not even in the game was kind of my point.
Yeah, and I would say, take a hard look at what you're doing. Take a real hard look and really evaluate yourself. Hey, am I even in the game? Am I giving myself a chance? Because I'll tell you what, it's really hard to score a touchdown if you're sitting on the sidelines. And
that might be impossible.
Might be impossible.
Yeah.
And some people I think are looking for that touchdown monthly and just hoping it comes. I call it the hope business model. The hope business model leaves you constantly in survival mode and generally leads you to being dead broke. Got to put something into play. Have to have some systems working for you. Now, like I said, we want to be conservative. 7%. You shouldn't spend more than 7% to get a single closing. But if you're not even trying, if you're not putting something out that's working for you, then you're going to be head and knees looking for a sunset.
One more thing. James, I was at another event. I was at a live training event, and I had about 30 agents. Now, this was the average closing in this room was ridiculous to me. Okay, the average was like $15,000 per deal.
That's a big average.
I said, look, let's just, I was like, tell you what, let's
knock it down.
Let's knock it down to 10. That means their average closing, their 7% was $700. So I said, hey, who would spend $700 to get a closing? I still had half the people in. So I grew the other half. I go, look, you wouldn't give me $700 if you knew you were going to get 10 grand back. I just don't know. Well, then you're not in the game. That's kind of my point. You're not even willing to do it. I'm not saying spend $1 to get $1 back. Just don't spend the dollar. But if you know you're going to get a return, and yes, you do have to return calls. Yes, you do have to call people back. Yes, you do have to do all those things. So just spending $700 won't make you instantly successful. However, it will pay for leads.
Yeah, and I think the point is, hey, you got to do something. You got to try something. You got to put something out there to give yourself an opportunity. And if you can't spend, if your average commission is $10,000 and you can't put 700 into play to get that $10,000 back, you're not. The reality is you're not going to become a top agent. The top agents turn their business into a math equation. They know for every X dollars they spend on marketing, they get X times back. If you can return 5, 6, 7 times your money every time, $700 to get 10,000. You should be doing that all day long. If that means, hey, you have one set of Craigslist ads working, well then run more so you can get even more. If you had one set of postcards that were working, run more. Got to put something into play. Got to put something in action though to make it happen.
Take it to the, and James was mentioning this. I don't know how many read his post over on 3deals45days.com when he was discussing about Subway. If you tried to own a Subway today and you said, hey, I don't want to spend any money, but I want people to come in and buy sandwiches from me. Even the franchisee, the person who owns the Subway, has to pay a marketing fee every month to the mothership, so to speak. They're spending money on marketing to bring people in to buy sandwiches. And that you're talking at $4 and $5, $5 foot long, at a time. So you got to be in the game. Now you may start with a little and then work your way up, but understand where you're at in the game. Understand, hey, look, you better go find some money, or you better be doing everything you can. Hey, maybe you got to post 40 Craigslist ads a day. Maybe you got to do 4 open house weekends. you better decide where you're going to be at and where you're focused in the game. I don't want people to think they're in the game and they're not really in the game. That's kind of my point, James.
My point is, hey, do a hard look at yourself. Look at what you're doing and, hey, put something in action. Whether it's posting a Craigslist ad, whether it's, hey, making a commitment to sending out, a series of postcards to expires. It doesn't really matter, but you need to consider putting something in action and really say, hey, look, if I want to go get a $3,000 commission, I need to spend $210 to get that $3,000 commission. What am I going to spend? What am I going to do? How am I going to give myself an opportunity to have $3,000 checks coming my way?
Now, I'll tell you this, too, James. You bring up a great point, and then we'll wrap it up here, is, if you spend $210 and you're working at trying to get that to produce you $3,000, I guarantee you this, if you spend that out of your own pocket, you will do whatever it takes to make that $210 work. At least in my opinion.
Crank it up.
So, crank it up. All right, on behalf of James, anything else, James, on that?
No, let's go out there, just light up, do something.
Make sure you're in the game. On behalf of James, I'm Joey Bridges. To your success, staying with your marketing rule at 7%.